Free agency is right around the corner. Let's go ahead and preview this 2025 free agent offensive lineman class. And we're going to start off with the tackles. Why? Because the tackles are the most important position. And as you're going to see, really just a theme of all free agency, but in particular, the guys in the trenches, both the offensive and the defensive line, you're going to see average guys get paid like superstars. Just the way it goes. I am 100% of the thought if you need help upgrading the offensive or defensive line, and really any position, the way to do it is the draft, because you're going to be paying pretty much the same amount of money for an elite guy that was homegrown, a guy that you drafted, versus, let's say, an Alaric Jackson. And guess what? These tackles, their over-under is going to be $20 million for APY. That's the way it is, especially these left tackles. Joseph Noteboom, solid starter. Alaric Jackson has had a lot of ups and downs. I definitely would take Noteboom. Yeah, they're going to be making $20 million per year. It's just the way it goes. Cam Robinson, you can see his salary this past year, $18 million. That's crazy, but guess what? He's a left tackle, and that's the market. Draft these guys. Do not sign these guys. Cam Robinson obviously traded from Jacksonville to Minnesota mid-season. Once Christian Darrisaw went down, he actually played pretty well. Not likely that he's going to be back in Minnesota. Why? Because they have really one of the best tackle situations in the NFL with Brian O'Neill out of Pittsburgh on the right side, and then you have the aforementioned Darrisaw on the left. Joseph Noteboom, it's going to be interesting to see what the Rams do with him and Alaric Jackson. I still think Noteboom is a much better player than him. Obviously, injuries have been an issue for him. Who knows? Maybe they just start fresh. I don't know. Offensive line has been an issue. They tried to fix it last year by signing Pro Bowl guard Jonah Jackson and moving him into center. He struggled, though. He might be a Pro Bowler at guard. He did not look great at center. Even the snaps were an issue for him. Maybe he can get hold of it in year two. Ronnie Stanley at one point was the guy. He's not the guy anymore. Where's this going to come? Where's the sweet spot? I think it's in his best interest to stay in Baltimore, and I also think Baltimore should want to keep him. I think that he is their second best offensive lineman by a mile. The problem is you have to find that happy medium. He probably could make more elsewhere, but he's a guy. Injuries have been an issue, and are you going to have a better chance to compete than with Baltimore? I'm not sure. Morgan Moses, just old and reliable. He was actually in Baltimore the year prior. Before that, long-time member of the Washington team. Tyron Smith, we'll see if he plays. I'm not sure. Maybe Jerry Jones does what he did with Ezekiel Elliott and brings him back. I don't know. Tyron Smith, that kind of probably Hall of Famer. It's hard to tell. It's hard for all these offensive linemen to get it. Marshall Yonda, for instance, has a great case, but he struggled. But Tyron Smith, probably a top 3 tackle from this past generation. I say probably. Joe Thomas and Trent Williams, I'm definitely taking ahead of him. Although Tyron Smith's, I don't know. Who else do we have in this generation? Jason Peters, Lane Johnson on the other side. It'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure if he'll play. Morgan Moses, he's a guy, since he's on the right side, probably not going to come in at the $20 million mark, but definitely going to be over $12 million, I would say, pretty safely. Jedrick Wills, a lot of Browns fans are fed up with him, and I get it. I'm intrigued, though. When you look at upside, I think of a guy that was from his draft class that we're going to talk about later, Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton, Jets fans were ready to kill. He couldn't stay in shape. He couldn't stay healthy. And all of a sudden, a change of scenery, he goes to a functional organization like the Eagles, and he's a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. Jedrick Willis, there's some talent. There's some upside there. Who knows? Maybe if you put him in a better environment, he can thrive. Who else we got? Trenton Brown. That guy. Talk about overweight. I don't know what the Bengals tried solving their offensive line issues this year with quantity. They said, we're just going to get the biggest guys, and we're going to get as many of them as possible, even though we're only going to put 5 of them on the field at the same time. Amarius Mims was their first-round draft pick. He's 6'8". Trent Brown, 6'8". Orlando Brown, also 6'8". I don't think they would keep Trent Brown this year with Amarius Mims, but who knows? Cornelius Lucas, long-time tackle for Washington. I like him as a swing tackle at this point in his career. Kelvin Beachum, Steelers fans, I think that you guys should be welcoming him back as a swing tackle. Let the young guys, because the whole offensive line is young at this point. You have McCormick, you have Zach Frazier, Fatanu, Broderick Jones, Spencer Anderson got meaningful snaps last year. You still do have Sayamalu, but I think Kelvin Beachum would be that ideal swing tackle, especially if Broderick Jones continues to struggle. DJ Humphries, he was signed by Kansas City during the midway / 75% of the way through the season. He didn't look 100% healthy, but he was a quality tackle for a while. Andrew Speed has 5 Pro Bowls. But if you ask Saints fans, he's not a 5-time Pro Bowler. He did not have that level of play. I know some people hate the Pro Bowl. Andrew Speed, though, does have versatility at this stage. I think that he can play all 5 positions. At the very least, he can play guard and tackle, so there is some value there. Who knows? Maybe Sean Payton tries to bring him in as a piece. Isaiah Wynn, I am a fan of Isaiah Wynn. By no means is he a high-end guy, but he's talented. David Quesenberry. I didn't realize this guy was still playing. What I remember him for is recovering from cancer, which is awesome, but not super noteworthy from an NFL football perspective, which obviously is not the most important thing. He was, what I'm most familiar with is him with the Texans, during that Bill O'Brien, Gary Kubiak era. Dylan Raduns, he was kind of disappointing. I always thought he was going to amount to more. He does have an experience under Brian O'Callahan, but Bill O'Callahan, who is widely believed to be one of, if not the best offensive line coach of all time. Dan Moore coming off of a career year. Is he elite? No, but is he going to get paid like he's elite? Yeah, he's going to be making well over the $20 million mark. Once Troy Fatanu got hurt and Broderick Jones had to stay over on the right side, Dan Moore's job was safe for his 4th year. He's a 4-year starter, tons of experience. And if you have experience on the offensive line, then you're going to get paid regardless of performance. Pittsburgh not going to be interested in re-upping on him. Jalen Moore, long time. They have him listed as left tackle, but I think he's played a lot of right tackle as well for the Niners. We got a couple of depth pieces with Fred Johnson and LaRaven Clark. Both guys are former Steelers, funny enough. Dan Skipper, we obviously all know him. Jermaine Ifedi, 2 good swing tackles. Chris Hubbard, look at him still kicking it. Now let's quickly talk about the guards. Kevin Zeitler playing maybe the best football of his career. I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit tries to bring him back. Patrick McCarry, I love his versatility. He's a guard that can also play tackle. Now, do you want him to play tackle? No, it's not going to be ideal. Nate Herbig, great locker room glue guy, but he's been overpaid in Pittsburgh. He's done absolutely nothing for the Steelers, and he's been making $4 million per year. Will Hernandez has actually been pretty good for the Cardinals after being disappointing with the Giants. He's looked good blocking for James Conner. James Daniels, he's likely to be gone with Mason McCormick arising. Brandon Sheriff, pretty good player. He would be a solid role player in the right organization. The problem is health for him. Zach Martin, it'd be kind of cool to see him and Tyron Smith walk out into the sunset together. Zach Martin definitely, I think, has more high-level football at this stage than Tyron Smith, but he is evaluating his future. Dalton Reisner, solid starter. Cody Whitehair, lots of experience. Mekhi Becton, he's going to be making top dollar. Tevin Jenkins, it'll be interesting to see what he does. Liam Eichenberg, also noteworthy. He's played a lot of games for the Dolphins. Robert Jones. So, yes, the Dolphins are going to continue to lose guys via free agency, just like last year. Kendrick Green, he has been better with the Texans, but still not great. Aaron Banks, lots of good games for the Niners. Braden Christensen, he's played a lot of games. Lucas Patrick, solid center/guard. Trey Smith, I don't know why he's the last guy, but he obviously is one of, if not the best free agent in the class. We got Josh Myers there. Ryan Kelly's a free agent. Not a super vocal leader, but good. And then another couple quality guys in Bradley Bozeman and Drew Dahlman.